Alright guys, Tom here and welcome to a new video, and today I'm bringing you my WWE Raw review for the 1st of September 2014. Remember to leave the video a like, subscribe for more WWE videos, and also follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description and you can go follow me on Twitter. I always have a great time with fans discussing Raw, pay-per-views, SmackDown, everything like that. Follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description. There's no reason for you not to follow me on Twitter or even subscribe to my channel. Both of them you should do. We have a great time. Do it right now. And remember, like the video, get that done. All three things. We're ready. Raw review. Let's get down to it. My honest opinion for Monday Night Raw this week. Another really average, boring show. Hardly any wrestling. Loads of promos. Really boring. I can't remember the last time we had a solid Monday Night Raw. I'd have to look way back in maybe April or May to find the last time we had a decent Monday Night Raw. I mean, what? We haven't had a good Raw for like months. Literally months. We've had like three solid good Raws all year. This Raw was another bad Monday Night Raw. It kicked off finally with something new. We started off with Chris Jericho, a fan favourite, a great way to kick off Monday Night Raw. And I was like, yes, finally the Authority or Stephanie McMahon doesn't start Raw. We start off with somebody that we haven't seen start Monday Night Raw for years, Chris Jericho. But then he invited Randy Orton out, which for a start off really didn't make sense. Why would Chris Jericho talk to Randy Orton? Randy Orton hasn't won a pay-per-view match since February at Elimination Chamber. He's really irrelevant, so why did he care about interviewing Randy Orton? That's the first thing I really did not understand. But then the Authority came out. The Authority came out. So yes, once again, Monday Night Raw technically kicks off with the Authority in another boring promo. Yep, this promo dragged on for 20 minutes and it didn't even make sense. Triple H was contemplating whether he should really give John Cena the match against Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions, even though a week ago he'd accepted the offer from John Cena and had made the match official. But a week later he suddenly decided that's not a good idea at all and I'm going to change my mind. And this was way too similar to the same thing Stephanie McMahon said to Brie Bella and Nikki Bella later on in the show. This just didn't make sense. Why would he change his mind on the title match? Everybody wants to see Cena against Brock too. Why is he changing his mind? What did this have to do with anything? Why did Jericho want to interview Randy Orton? Just didn't make sense. Went on for way too long. 20 minutes I think it was. And it really didn't get to anywhere anyway. We all know we're heading towards Cena and Brock at Night of Champions anyway. So nobody really cared about this at all. It was good because we got Kane, Orton, Rollins, Triple H, Reigns, Cena and Chris Jericho all in the ring at the same time. Blockbuster names, some household names, some popular people all in the ring at the same time. It was the highlight reel, so a blockbuster, star-studded way to start Monday Night Raw. But it really didn't make sense. It dragged on for way too long. But it did make it was an opportunity for Triple H to announce the big match, the big main event for Monday Night Raw tonight, which was great. Kane, Rollins and Randy Orton against Cena, Reigns and Chris Jericho. So obviously that is a pretty blockbuster main event, and that's what we got out of this starting promo, the announcement for the main event. So I was happy about that. Dragged on for way too long though, and really didn't make any sense and was quite pointless. Next match, but that does get a thumbs down. I'll give it a thumbs down. Ugh, not good. The next match was Cesaro and The Miz teaming up with Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler. So this was a pretty big match. You had two champions teaming up to take on Cesaro and The Miz. So a pretty decent match. And yes, the match was actually quite entertaining and it was relevant. I mean, it made sense to book Cesaro and Miz, who will both face Ziggler or Sheamus in Night of Champions. The match made sense. It was perfect booking. It was a good idea to make this match. And actually a really good opening match to Monday Night Raw this week. I thought this was a really good opening match. I mean, it was solid. It had some good pace to it. The crowd were really into it. They've got, what, maybe 3 guys in there that everybody loves to see. Really good idea by the WWE. The match was solid, a great opener to Monday Night Raw, and the ending was actually really entertaining. Now, they're adding some density to The Miz's character by having Sandow out there, and also his makeup artist, who he goes to see during the match. That's really good, that's clever, that's entertaining, something fresh and new, and a pretty cool gimmick that he goes and sits on the chair during the match. He has sunglasses, it's a cool gimmick, it's original, and it pays off really, really well. During the match, Sandow got in the ring. It's really original how Sandow's dressed up as The Miz. This distracted Dolph Ziggler, then Miz gets in the ring, and then hits the skull-crushing finale on Dolph Ziggler. Great way to get some heat for The Miz. Builds their match up for Night of Champions, obviously with Miz getting a cheap win over Dolph Ziggler. And also, I thought it was really entertaining. I was gripped by the ending. I thought it was cool how they used Sandow dressed up as The Miz. The ending was fantastic. I didn't expect The Miz to jump in there and do the skull-crushing finale on Dolph Ziggler. Built their match well, their feud well. It had a really hot ending as well with Sheamus, Cesaro running in there. Cool ending, solid match. Built the matches for Night of Champions. Gets a thumbs up from me. Good job by the WWE right there. The next match was Naomi, Summer Rae and Layla versus Eva Marie, Rosa Mendes, Cameron. Went to a no contest. Nobody cares. It was pretty much just on there to keep the Total Divas show relevant when it comes back on the air next week. So, thumbs down. So, it was just a clusterfuck of divas all just pushed in there in one match. Ugh, what the hell was that? Thumbs down. Big waste of time. The next match was a rematch. I mean, how many times do we want to watch Big Show and Mark Henry versus the Wyatt family? I think ever since Big Show and Mark Henry came back, it feels like 90% of their matches have been against the Wyatt family. And I hate it how they advertise it as a new thing, a new fresh match, when we've seen it 90% of the, like, 100 times. And Big Show and Mark Henry only came back about a month ago. Ridiculous. But they always give these guys a good amount of time, and I'm glad about that because they're always solid matches, very entertaining, they have great chemistry, they work well together. Simply, the Wyatt family versus Big Show and Mark Henry is good for business. It's every match they have is great. Now, I think they've had better matches than this, but it was still another great match between these lot. Really solid match. I'm really impressed with how good a match these lot can put on. I think the Wyatt family really do bring out the best in Big Show and Mark Henry. Yeah, I think I'll go out on a limb and say they really do. I mean, I'm rarely entertained by a Big Show or Mark Henry match, but these matches have been really, really good. And I actually was a big fan of the ending because it does seem like they are finally going with Rusev against Mark Henry. Now, I didn't watch Raw last week, but I kind of got the impression that Rusev and Mark Henry wasn't really happening anymore. But I was really happy with this ending because it ended with Rusev hitting an awesome super kick on Mark Henry when he went for the World's Strongest Slam. Great ending to the match. Yes, it was ended via disqualification, so I was slightly upset that it didn't end in a clean ending because you sit through a match that long and then when it doesn't end clean, it's a bit disappointing. But I thought that super kick was good, it worked well, and yeah, they are going with that match with Henry against Rusev at Night of Champions, and I'm really happy for that because I think that match will be great. So all in all, very, very solid segment on Raw, good match. Cool ending, builds towards a Henry and Rusev feud, which I'm pretty sure everyone wants to see. So all in all, thumbs up from me. Give us great heel heat to Rusev as well. Good job there by the WWE. The next bit was a Paul Heyman promo. Yeah, I haven't really been too impressed with Paul Heyman's promos recently. I really don't think it was that good. There wasn't really anything memorable in here. It's kind of the same old thing by Paul Heyman. There wasn't anything fresh he said here. I wasn't really listening. I wasn't really too bothered. I want to see Brock on my screen. I think Paul Heyman on his own, I get a bit sidetracked. It's a bit boring. It's a bit uninteresting. Now, a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that. But really, I just wasn't entertained by this Paul Heyman promo. I just don't think it was good. I think they just gave him the mic and was like, just keep Brock Lesnar relevant. It really was not great. I didn't really listen to it. I wasn't really too bothered. I just want to see the match. I know it's bad for me hating on a Paul Heyman promo. I just wasn't entertained by it. So I'll give it a thumbs down. The next bit was Jack Swagger against Curtis Axel. Now, this match itself was pretty entertaining. It was an okay match, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really do anything for Swagger or Curtis Axel. It really didn't make sense anyway. These guys really don't care about each other, so a throwaway match. But what happened at the end of the match was actually quite good. Bo Dallas got loads of people out talking about how they were disappointed in Jack Swagger's loss at SummerSlam. And after interviewing them all, he stood up and went, "All you gotta do is believe." And I thought that was cool how he did the Jack Swagger hand on his heart and got all the people that he'd interviewed to do it. It was a pretty cool segment and actually got a lot of heel heat, especially when he mentioned Putin on the big screen. Bo Dallas is doing great with that heat as well. And also, I'm quite excited about Bo Dallas versus Swagger. I think it'll be a pretty solid match, and I'm interested to see that happen. The segment by Bo Dallas was unique. We've never seen anything like that before, so it gets a thumbs up from me. The match itself, Swagger versus Curtis Axel, does get a thumbs up from me as well. Quite irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but a solid, well-worked match by both of them. Next match, Adam Rose versus Titus O'Neil. 2-minute match, waste of time. The only good thing about Adam Rose is his entrance. Once he gets in that ring, everything he has, he just loses. His gimmick is pretty much his entrance. When he gets in the ring, he has nothing. That's why his matches are so short. They should just scrap this gimmick. It's never going far at all. He's had what? The longest match he's had is probably about 3 minutes. This gimmick is a waste of time. Has like nobody behind him anymore. Nobody really cares about him anymore. Nobody reacted during this match. The only reaction was for the bunny, which doesn't say a lot about Adam Rose, does it? I mean, the bunny's more entertaining than Adam Rose. Whatever. Waste of time. Big thumbs down. And Titus O'Neil deserves a hell of a lot better than this. He is championship material. I will say he is championship material. He deserves a hell of a lot better than this. Give it a thumbs down. There was nothing in this match whatsoever. Rusev versus Zack Ryder. Once again, Zack Ryder jobbing out to Rusev. Boring. Waste of time. Does nothing in the grand scheme of things. I mean, how many more jobber matches do we have to see with Rusev tapping somebody out to the camel clutch? So boring. I mean, what? We're 5 months into Rusev's debut and he's still doing the same thing every match. It's so boring. A 2-minute squash match 5 months into his career. We don't want to see that. It's so bloody boring. We want him to see him lose and then finally get some decent time in a match. I mean, a Monday Night Raw match, every match he has on Raw is 2 minutes. So boring. I just don't want to complain too much. I mean, what? They're still doing this guy, giving this guy jobber matches. So boring. Thumbs down, definitely. The next match was Stephanie meeting with Nikki Bella, and this is pretty much the same segment we saw for the WWE Championship. Now, through the night, Nikki Bella was doing promos about Brie Bella and how she... We don't know if it's a lie, but we kind of guess it is a lie. But the acting on them are so bad. But then here on this segment, the acting was even worse. It was so bad. I mean, there's only so far I can go to believe a segment. Now, I know you have to use your imagination a lot when you're a WWE fan, but it's just going too far with these Bella segments. I mean, you have to use your imagination so well to get into these segments. It's just too hard. I mean, there's nobody in the world with the right mind can really believe this. I mean, it's too hard. You just turn off the screen. It's just really, really like soap opera, really bad lines, uninteresting. There was boring chants. The match probably won't even be that good when we get it. And then she brought the Divas Championship into it and mentioned Nikki Bella should get a championship match. Nikki Bella tried to make Brie Bella leave, and then AJ came out, then Paige came out, how she complained about who had a title match. I don't get what the championship had to do with this. I really didn't care. There was too much going on. The Divas Championship shouldn't be coming into this feud. It really isn't relevant to the Brie Bella and Nikki Bella feud. Making Brie Bella quit just was weird. It was just way too much. Not believable. stupid lines. We don't care about this segment. There was boring chants. There was CM Punk chants. It was just horrific. It really was. It was just really horrific. It just nothing in the grand scheme of things. I still have no idea if AJ is a babyface or a heel. I have no idea if Paige is a heel or a babyface, if they like each other, what's going on there. Is there going to be a match at Night of Champions? I have no idea. Are the Bellas going to have a match between each other? Is she lying? Is it truth? No idea. Do I care? Not really. I have no freaking idea what's going on here. They should scrap this idea between the Bellas. It's horrific. Every week, it's horrific. Really cringy. Huge thumbs down from me. Why was AJ and Paige out there? I have no idea. And Brie Bella getting a title shot, that is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, skip. Goldust versus the Usos. Great. This was good. This was awesome. I mean, the crowd wasn't necessarily into it because we're still a bit shell-shocked that Goldust and Cody are heels. Not really something we really wanted to see. But the crowd really didn't react during this match, so it kind of made for a bit of a boring and lame match. But honestly, really entertaining match. I did enjoy this match. It was good. Then the beatdown at the end on one of the Usos by Cody Rhodes using the chair on the steel post looked great. It looked gruesome and really did signify that they are heels. They are out there to take the championships. And I believe one of the Usos actually got injured from that. So that's a really good way to sell that attack by the Goldust and Cody Rhodes. Great way to get some heel heat. And finally, a decent tag team championship feud that I'm interested in. And I am actually excited to see their match at Night of Champions if it does happen. Pretty good. It was okay. The match was pretty good as well. I'll give it a thumbs up. I'll be lenient here. Then the main event, a big blockbuster main event, without a doubt. A really, really good idea. With Cena, Jericho, Reigns, Orton, Rollins, and Kane. Great match. Some top names. Good main event. Very good main event. I like these 6-man tag main events. We're used to seeing maybe the Shield doing these 6-man tag main events. It seems like they're kind of bringing them back a bit. There was like one time like last year in like October time. Every Raw had a 6-man tag match. But now, we had another 6-man tag match, and it was really good. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're going to like a few people in here. If you're a Cena fan, you might like Jericho as well. There's going to be a few people that you enjoy watching their work. The Iowa fans obviously like Seth Rollins. It was a win-win. It was a really good match. Really entertaining. Great match. Cool ending. The crowd was into it from start to finish. Solid and a really high point to end Monday Night Raw. This was a great way to give some huge, much needed momentum for John Cena. He hit loads of AAs. He hit an AA with Seth Rollins onto the announce table. Such a good way to give Cena some momentum and send a really big message to Brock Lesnar building up their match. And also, I did like how it kind of seemed like Cena was passing the torch to Reigns at the end. He gave an A8 on Kane and then kind of tagged Reigns in and let Reigns hit the spear and pick up the win. That was a cool way to show that they're passing the torch there. So for me, solid main event and did actually end Raw on a really high note for me. The spear by Reigns was a bit dodgy, but I'm not going to sit here and complain too much. In the end, a decent main event made up for a really lackluster and boring show, full of promos and segments which weren't that good, and matches which really were irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Seems like we are missing maybe a Daniel Bryan or a CM Punk on these Monday Night Raws nowadays. We have no champion as well, the WWE champion's not around. Paul Heyman's promo was a bit disappointing, and the Ball Authority kicking off Raw again. I really want something fresh and new once in a while, and this Raw didn't deliver that well. Night of Champions is still 3 weeks away, so plenty of time to build towards the pay-per-view, but another boring Raw. I really want to see a good Raw. We haven't seen one for a while, but that's what I think. I'll give this Monday Night Raw a thumbs down. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. What did you guys think? Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, leave a like, take care, spike your hair.